It's actually more on behalf of my husband who's hoping to be here, but he's on call out or whatever.
Yeah.
He just really wanted to know this, since I guess to both of you, or really anybody who's running for county judge, he wanted to know where y'all stand, I guess, on natural gas resources, and do you think that, I don't know if I'm wording this correctly, but is it something valuable to Goliad, or do you think that it's necessary or unnecessary? Where I think he wanted to know natural gas versus solar and where y'all stand on that.
Sure.
Not like you have to go super detailed,
Sure. So I'll let David answer first. Let me repeat the question real quick. The question was, how do we feel about the resource of natural gas in Goliad County? Is it a big resource for us that has value? And then more importantly, where does natural gas versus solar stand for our county?
So I am a property owner, and I have my minerals and royalties, and I like Trump, drill baby drill. But the best thing they did is they're going to rebuild the power plant and go. I wish they would keep the coal unit and add on the gas unit. It was always planned when they built that and opened it in 1980 that it would they would expand it and probably be gas, natural gas. Uh, I think people know where I stand with solar. It offers nothing, nothing. Mostly when you give them 70% abatements. Um, Windmills, my God, go on the other side of Woodsboro and look on to the right where these windmills are, and look at all this orange crap running out of these things. It's oil, and it's all over the ground. It's not clean. It's not green energy. They built all of that stuff with fossil fuel. All of that stuff came from overseas. Uh, the natural gas and oil industry is vital to Texas. To it, we could live on our own. Texas could be its own country if it wanted to because of the resources that we have, and we should use those resources. Uh, there again, I I'm 100% for natural gas and oil. There again, our natural gas, the price is still low. Uh, I believe Goliad County is a excellent area for exploration for natural gas, not really oil, but and it's deeper and it's harder to recover. And they're pulling the oil and gas out of the Eagle Ford like a water well. So they're not going to come to Goliad with this exploration until they really have to, I guess is what I'll say. So my kids might get to see it.
Yeah. So thinking long term again. Anyone who's heard me speak or asked me questions, that's I hate to say not say my only concern, but definitely my biggest concern. Where's Goliad at 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, right? Because I'll be here, my kids will still be here, so on and so forth, right? There's a lot of gas in Goliad County, right? We know that. If you look dollar at cents, and the oil and gas companies have done this, it's not worth going after so much right now. Stands to reason, and not Willie Nelson could probably give you a better idea on this, that one day it will be, right, as those things will change, right? But as it sits right now, oil and gas is accountable for 1.5% of the budget, so not a lot, right? I do think I think the power plant converting to natural gas is probably a gift and a curse at the same time, right? Because evaluations will increase, which means more tax revenue, right? But with evaluations increase, better the chance they're going to fight us on this, right? And most people probably don't know, in 2018, the company that owned the power plant, which I believe was Invista, said that the power plant was worth zero. No dollars are going to write it off. So the county had to go after them for them to pay their tax bill, right? And now, for the most part, although the power plant still files for an protest their taxes, they don't really fight it that hard, right? Where DCP goes after it from us and wanted to sue us for $3 million. We ended up settling for 1.1, so forth. So, the power plant's kind of left us alone as far as the property taxes and evaluations. I do fear that will probably change if the evaluations go up. So, although we're bringing in more money, we're really gonna have to fight for it probably, which ends up costing us money and lawyer fees and all that stuff, right? As far as solar is concerned, I'm a case by case guy, right? I'm not against solar. I just don't believe in the solar business. I don't think it's sustainable. I don't think it's long term, right? So my fear is you make solar deals, you bring it in. That may be some money for a time, but we have to use that money wisely, okay? So if it pays, let's just call it $500,000 a year, right, for 10 years. I don't believe, and I would not put that $500,000 a year into the budget because I don't think it'll be there for the full 10 years or after that, because those businesses are heavy in government subsidies. And depending on the administration and what happens with tariffs, so on and so forth, that stuff changes and they stop and they do it. Like we're seeing now with 2 solar farms. Had 4 on the books, 2 came, and 2 want to push and extend because with tariff, it's just not cost effective for them to do that, right? But if that money goes in the budget, you count on it for next year and it's not there, you got to pull it out. That's hard to do, right? So we would be smarter from a long-term basis to put that money away, put it in the coffers, build the account, earn some interest on it, and use that for emergency funds for this and that, and not use it to pay things like payroll and insurances and all that stuff, right? So I am not anti-solar farms for deals, right? I think everything should be case by case. You know, I'm not a big believer in it taking up ag land, but the power plant owns a solar farm in George West, and they've got thousands and thousands of acres, right? So again, going back to our chart here, 24% of our tax revenue comes from rural land not qualified. So it's land that doesn't get tax exemption because it's not being used for agriculture production. 5,900 acres, and it accounts for 24% of our budget, right? Or of our tax revenue that comes in. The power plant alone's got thousands of acres. I would be for them putting a solar farm there and working on a deal on that because it's land that's being used for nothing. Let's up that value and do that, and then it keeps them a little more tied to Goliad. And again, so now that business is tied to a power plant that is generating revenue. So even if solar starts to fall out, they're more likely to stay and keep going solar on that stuff. So that's I'm against solar as a business. I don't think it's long term, but I'm not against solar farms as we should never have any of them or look at any of their deals, essentially. So hope that answers your question.
When they came back that they said they paid 0 for the power plant, the appraisal district members offered them $10 and they didn't take it. So it was worth more than a 0. But
they fought it. We had to go out. We had to go out and fight it and get that money. I mean, that it wasn't. They wanted to write it off and say it was worth nothing.
And it was foreign owned. I believe now it is
California
American owned.
Yeah. Right. Thank you. Next question.